Hi, I'm Scott Marthaler. Welcome to Rooftops of America, a series that explores the highest points of each state and territory in the USA. American high points come in all shapes and sizes, rolling hills on farmlands to ancient forested domes. From scenic views on the prairie to rocky desert peaks, you'll find them on tropical island paradises and the massive, snowy, glaciated giants. They truly are an eclectic bunch. And today, we're going to count them down, from lowest to highest. But before we begin, take a moment to click that red subscribe button below and the bell icon next to it for all the latest Rooftops of America updates. Now, let's count them down. We start our list in the vastness of the Pacific Ocean with the U.S. minor outlying islands. For most folks, these places remain virtually unknown. If people are aware of them, it's from World War II history or being stationed on them. Remote, tiny, and difficult to reach, most have elevations in the 20s of feet at best, but 3 of them stand out, and that's where we'll start. Number 59, Sand Hill, Palmyra Atoll. Elevation, 30 feet. The only incorporated unorganized territory in the U.S., this small remote tropical island is located 1,000 miles south of Hawaii and is now a protected scientific research site. Number 58, Radar Hill, Midway Atoll. Elevation, 43 feet. The highest point of the Pacific Minor Outlying Islands. This tiny island is most known as the site of the Battle of Midway, a decisive turning point in the Pacific theater of World War II. 57. Dunning Hill, Nassau Island. Elevation, 279 feet. Located in the Caribbean Sea between Jamaica and Haiti, this small, uninhabited island is now a national fish and wildlife refuge and the highest point of all the U.S. minor outlying islands. Number 56. Britton Hill, Florida. Elevation, 345 feet. This Sunshine State Hill is the lowest state high point on the list. How low, do you wonder? 16 U.S. states have higher low points than the elevation of this high point. Number 55, Point Reno, District of Columbia. Elevation, 409 feet. The most urban high point on our list is not located in a state nor a territory, but its own entity, the Federal District, and is the only high point on the list you can take the subway to. At 54, Ebright Azimuth, Delaware. Elevation, 448 feet. Quite possibly the oddest named high point on the list, this other urban destination can be found near the first state's northern border, in a mowed field next to a busy street. Number 53, Driscoll Mountain, Louisiana. Elevation, 535 feet. In a state more known for bayous and the Delta, this Pelican State high point is tucked away in the hillier northwestern section of the state, known as the Sportsman's Paradise. Number 52, Woodall Mountain, Mississippi. Elevation, 807 feet. A small monadnock in the northeast corner of the Magnolia State, this peak played a key role in the Battle of Iuka during the U.S. Civil War and is the bloodiest state high point on the list. Number 51, Jeremoth Hill, Rhode Island. Elevation, 811 feet. It's hard to believe nowadays, but not too long ago, this short walk in the woods was restricted, making this Ocean State peak one of the most exclusive high points in the country. Number 50, Charles Mount, Illinois. Elevation, 1,235 feet. Located in the land of Lincoln's Driftless area, this is the first high point on the list, over 1,000 feet, and the last where the tallest building in the state is still of greater height. 49, Hoosier Hill, Indiana. Elevation, 1,257 feet. Hidden in a small glade near the eastern border of the Hoosier State, this rural high point is only a few miles away from what was known as the Grand Central Station of the Underground Railroad. 48. Mount Lomlom, Guam, elevation 1,332 feet. This peak's name means lightning in the Chamorro language, and it retains a strong local connection, with crosses being placed on one of the secondary summits every Good Friday. At 47, Campbell Hill, Ohio, elevation 1,549 feet. This Buckeye State Hill was once home to a Cold War radar site and is now a career technical school. It has been called the most manicured of the state high points. Number 46, Crown Mountain, U.S. Virgin Islands, elevation 1,555 feet. The name of this high point refers to an earlier time when these islands were the holdings of the Kingdom of Denmark, boasting an economy fueled by sugar, slave trading, and piracy. Number 45, Hawkeye Point, Iowa, elevation 1,670 feet. Found on a former farm next to fields of corn and soybeans, the Hawkeye State High Point goes whole hog with its agricultural heritage. Number 44, Tomsauk Mountain, Missouri, elevation 1,772 feet. Named after a legendary Piankashaw chieftain, this Show-Me State High Point is the tallest peak in the San Francois Mountains, one of the oldest mountain ranges in the country. Number 43, High Point, New Jersey, elevation 1,803 feet. This Garden State High Point on top of Kittatinny Mountain is easily recognizable from a distance due to the 220-foot obelisk honoring New Jersey's war veterans standing on top of it. Number 42, Timms Hill, Wisconsin, elevation 1,951 feet. The Badger State High Point is made by a thick accumulation of glacier debris from the last ice age. If you ask some of the locals, they may share with you the local belief that nearby Pearson Hill is supposedly taller. Number 41, Mount Arvin, Michigan, elevation 1,979 feet. Over the years, several other mountains were considered the highest point for the Wolverine State, before this peak and the Huron Mountains finally claimed the title in 1982. Number 40, Eagle Mountain, Minnesota, elevation 2,302 feet. A hike through the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness will take you to the top of this ancient peak, the most northern high point in the lower 48 states. 39, South Slope of Mount Friesel, Connecticut, elevation 2,379 feet. The Constitution State High Point is the only one on the list found on the side of a mountain. And on the most common approach, you'll travel downwards to reach it. 38, Cheaw Mountain, Alabama, elevation 2,413 feet. Located in the furthest southern section of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Yellowhammer High Point is the centerpiece of Alabama's oldest continually operating state park. Number 37, Magazine Mountain, Arkansas, elevation 2,753 feet. The natural state high point is the tallest peak in the Ouachita Mountains and is known for the scenic views from its steep cliffs. 36, Mount Agrahan, Northern Marianas Islands, elevation 3,166 feet. This volcanic peak is the easternmost high point in the U.S., one of the most difficult to reach, and one of the least climbed peaks on the entire list. Its first recorded successful summit was in 2018. 35, Lada Mountain, American Samoa, elevation 3,170 feet. This island peak is the southernmost high point in the United States and overlooks some of the tallest sea cliffs in the world. Number 34, Mount Davis, Pennsylvania, elevation 3,213 feet. Found in the heart of the Allegheny Mountains, they threw a party for this Keystone State Mountain when it was named the state high point in 1921. At 33, Hoy Crest, Maryland, elevation 3,360 feet. Located on a subpeak of the larger Backbone Mountain, this old line state high point requires you to start in next door West Virginia in order to reach the summit. Number 32, Mount Greylock, Massachusetts, elevation 3,489 feet. The Bay State High Point has strong literary connections, influencing some of America's finest authors, to include serving as the inspiration for Herman Melville's White Whale in Moby Dick. Number 31, White Butte, North Dakota, elevation 3,508 feet. Located just southwest of the North Dakota Badlands, the Peace Garden State High Point has a reputation for rapidly changing weather and incredibly slick mud. Number 30, Sassafras Mountain, South Carolina, elevation 3,554 feet. Found in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Palmetto State High Point recently received a facelift with a new observation platform on the summit. Number 29, Mount Sunflower, Kansas, elevation 4,039 feet. While the name may be in jest, and the summit practically indistinguishable from the surrounding prairie landscape, the Sunflower State High Point does its best to make visitors feel welcome. Number 28, Black Mountain, Kentucky, elevation 4,145 feet. The Bluegrass State High Point has tons of potential, but as of now, little of it is realized. Hopefully, there are future plans for improvement. At 27, Sierra de Punta, Puerto Rico, elevation 4,390 feet. This island of enchantment peak is the tallest territory high point and has the best view around. On a clear day, you can see almost all of Puerto Rico. Number 26, Mount Mansfield, Vermont, elevation 4,395 feet. Legend has it, this Green Mountain State peak is actually a giant that laid down to rest. Climb up to the chin to reach the high point. Number 25, Brasstown Bald, Georgia, elevation 4,784 feet. Located in the scenic Blue Ridge Mountains, the Cherokee called this peak Enota, and the Peach State High Point continues to be a rich source of stories and legends. Number 24, Spruce Knob, West Virginia, elevation 4,863 feet. The Mountain State High Point is found in the Monongahela National Forest and is actually the highest point on the much larger Spruce Mountain, which, in turn, is the tallest peak in the Alleghenies. 23, Black Mesa, Oklahoma, elevation 4,975 feet. Located in the far northwest corner of the Panhandle, this Sooner State High Point has been called a geological wonder, rich in biodiversity and dinosaur fossils. Number 22, Katahdin, Maine, elevation 5,270 feet. Katahdin means the greatest mountain in the Penobscot language, and the Pine Tree State High Point lives up to the name, often called the most alpine peak in New England. Number 21, Mount Marcy, New York, elevation 5,343 feet. The Empire State High Point is our first peak over a mile high and is the tallest mountain in the Adirondacks. Due to a hotspot, it's still thought to be growing. Number 20, Panorama Point, Nebraska. Elevation 5,427 feet. Located on a bison ranch, this austere Great Plains spot was determined to be the Cornhusker High Point with the aid of a World War I altimeter. Number 19, Mount Rogers, Virginia. Elevation 5,729 feet. The Old Dominion High Point makes a case for the saying the journey is better than the destination, with some great views along the trek, though the summit is still pretty cool, hidden in a quiet, otherworldly spruce fir forest. Number 18, Mount Washington, New Hampshire. Elevation 6,288 feet. The Beast of the East, this Granite State peak is known for its dynamic and extreme weather, which makes it one of the deadliest state high points on the list. Number 17, Clingman's Dome, Tennessee. Elevation 6,643 feet. In the heart of the Great Smoky Mountains, this peak is the highest point in the Volunteer State, and also the highest point hikers traverse on the 2,200-mile Appalachian Trail. Number 16, Mount Mitchell, North Carolina. Elevation 6,684 feet. The King of the East, this Tar Heel Mountain is the tallest peak east of the Mississippi River and was the early United States of America's first country high point. Number 15, Black Elk Peak, South Dakota. Elevation 7,244 feet. This Black Hills Mountain is named after Black Elk, a Lakota Sioux medicine man who described this peak in his vision as the center of the world. Number 14, Guadalupe Peak, Texas. Elevation 8,750 feet. Found in the far west part of the Lone Star State, this mountain was once a reef at the bottom of an ancient sea. Now it rises thousands of feet up and provides spectacular views of the Chihuahuan Desert. Number 13, Mount Hood, Oregon. Elevation 11,249 feet. The first high point on the list, over 2 miles in height, this Beaver State Peak also is the first requiring some mountaineering skill as you ascend through the pearly gates to the summit. Number 12, Humphreys Peak, Arizona. Elevation 12,637 feet. Often cited as a good beginner mountain for the higher peaks, the remnants of this ancient stratovolcano lie just north of Flagstaff, and on clear days you can spy the Grand Canyon from the summit. Number 11, Bora Peak, Idaho. Elevation 12,668 feet. This Gem State peak proves you don't need a lot of elevation to be tough. You'll have to overcome an unrelenting steep climb and the infamous Chicken Out Ridge before you reach the summit. Number 10, Granite Peak, Montana. Elevation 12,807 feet. The tallest mountain in the Beartooths, this Big Sky Country peak is a technical challenge and was the last state high point in the lower 48 to be successfully summited in 1923. Number 9, Boundary Peak, Nevada. Elevation 13,147 feet. This Great Basin desert peak is appropriately named, its summit only a few hundred yards away from the Silver State's western diagonal border. Number 8, Wheeler Peak, New Mexico. Elevation 13,167 feet. Standing tall in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, this land of enchantment peak lives up to the name, providing spectacular views of the surrounding area. Number 7, Kings Peak, Utah. Elevation 13,528 feet. Named after Clarence King, the first director of the U.S. Geological Survey, the Beehive State High Point is the tallest peak in the Uinta Mountains and is often tackled as a multi-day hiking trip. Number 6. Mauna Kea, Hawaii. Elevation 13,803 feet. The Aloha State's high point is a massive shield volcano and has claim to the tallest mountain on the planet when measured from base to peak at 33,500 feet, with the majority of it hidden under the waves. Number 5. Gannett Peak, Wyoming. Elevation 13,809 feet. This cowboy state peak is considered by many to be the most technical high point in the lower 48 states, requiring a substantial effort to even get to the place to make your climb to the top. Once there, you'll have to traverse a glacier to reach the craggy summit. Number 4. Mount Rainier, Washington. Elevation 14,411 feet. The Evergreen State High Point is an active stratovolcano, the tallest mountain in the Cascades, and with its threat of eruption, considered one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world. Number 3. Mount Elbert, Colorado. Elevation 14,440 feet. This Centennial State peak is often called the Gentle Giant, but don't let that fool you. It is still a long grind to the top of the King of the Rockies. Number 2. Mount Whitney, California. Elevation 14,505 feet. If you go the standard route, then get ready to count down as 99 switchbacks take you all the way up this Golden State Mountain. Once on top, you'll not only be on the tallest peak in the Sierra Nevadas, but also the lower 48 states. Before we get to our number 1 destination, let's take a moment to check out the basement of America. And fortunately for us, it's not that far away from our number 2 spot, only 84 miles to the southeast. Badwater Basin, California. Elevation 282 feet below sea level. Located in Death Valley, the salt flats in this endoheric basin cover almost 200 square miles. Not only is this the lowest point in the USA, but also North America. And finally, number 1, Denali, Alaska. Elevation 20,310 feet. Denali is in a category all by itself. It rises up almost 6,000 feet above the number 2 spot. Not only is it the highest point in the United States, but also North America. And it is the most northern mountain, over 6,000 meters. It is one of the largest mountains entirely above sea level in the world. This gargantuan block of rock makes for a fitting capstone to any high-pointing adventure. And there you have it, from lowest to highest, the highest point in each state and territory in the USA. If you're looking for a fun excuse to get off the beaten path, well, then these may just be the ticket, because that's exactly what we're going to do in this series. We're going to explore and climb as many of these as possible. I'm Skymar Thaler. Thanks for joining me today on Rooftops of America. Before you go, click that red subscribe button below, and I'll see you soon.